I got that Alexa shit everywhere in this house. So want to be able to, the title of the video is pretty clear of what I want to kind of go over today. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do protein today or if I'm just going to do supplements in this video and really speak to that and understand a little bit more about, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not suggesting that anybody do any of this. Certainly not telling you to do any of this. This is, in my experience, what I'm taking currently on my path. I'm about 3 months into working back with my coach and looking to compete in April of 2025. But I do feel as if going over some of the stuff that I do on a day-to-day basis is important to understand a little bit more about some or what all this stuff does and why it may be beneficial for me. Again, this is beneficial for me. It may not be beneficial for everyone else. And I'd like to hear, your comments. I'd like to have a talk and discussion about all of this, with you guys. So feel free to kind of, give me a heads up on things and, what you're taking, what you're thinking about taking. Again, look, I have a team in place. So I have a doctor, I have a cardiologist, I have a series of other people that can certainly help me. My coach has decades of experience with this as well. So again, his input is valuable. And most of the supplementation I take, honestly, isn't even necessarily for performance. It's, most of it is for support and helping as of this morning, I weigh 272.6 pounds. That is a large person. I am below 10% body fat or right around 10% body fat. So, my diet is certainly not restrictive as of yet. We're a year out from competition, so I haven't really gone into hyper restriction yet. But look, I'm getting a ton of protein in. I'm getting a good amount of carbohydrates in. I'm low fat on days I can be low fat. I'm high fat on other days. But supplementation is exactly that, is the idea that you may need additional support, which is why protein powders, and again, I think this is going to be a separate video on protein powders, so stay tuned for part 2. But why trying to get in the kind of protein I need to get in order to perform at my best and recover at my best, I have to get supplementation to try to eat that and not have any sort of shakes during the day or have any sort of protein supplement during the day. I mean, most bodybuilders will tell you that's virtually impossible. But supplementation is, by definition, supplementing what you may not be able to get in naturally. And look, you could eat all the vegetables you want, and you can eat until you puke. But at the end of the day, being able to get in some of the supplements you need while you're on a bodybuilding journey. And again, look, we're all bodybuilders are looking to do the impossible as they go. Increase muscle mass, and increase muscle definition and size, reducing body fat. This is science at its best. Do I claim to be a scientist? No, by no stretch. And again, a disclaimer, and I'll put this across the bottom, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to do any of this. Just really showing you what I do and why it's important to me. I have notes as well on everything, just so I can really speak to it a little bit more. Let's jump right into it. So again, as you kind of look at, in some of the whys I take stuff, but I digress. We'll get to that. Let's start off with what I'll call the B suite. B1, B6, niacin. Other name for niacin, by the way, is B3, B12. Yeah, that's my B suite. I have no doubt that there's more B within some of the proprietary blends that are here, but we'll start. The camera's going to line that up. So B1, B6, B niacin, B6, B12. So let's start off B1. So I recently started taking B1, B6. These are, and most of the B suite, if not all of the B suite, is going to be fantastic for your brain, your heart, nervous system, anti-inflammation. Which again, look, what we're doing here is we're breaking down muscle fibers. So essentially, how I used to explain it to clients when I was a personal trainer is that your goal at the gym is to essentially break down those muscle fibers and have them come back together when you're resting, at rest. That's when they are doing this, at rest, but being able to be prepared for doing that again, right? Which is why we look at hypertrophy as bodybuilders to continue to break, so they come back never wanting to do the same thing again. They want to be able to do more, and you're pushing past that. So you are training till failure. The B suite, during that, you're creating a lot of inflammation everywhere within your body. That's going to be from your joints, muscle fibers, tendons, ligaments, anything and everything. So again, if you're inflamed, and you're working your heart out, because you are, right? You're certainly working your brain out, blood flow, everything else that needs to happen here, white blood cells, red blood cells, all of that. So essentially the B suite first is going to help with your heart, brain, nervous system. But to kind of break down like B1, which is going to be thiamine. So this is going to help break down your carbohydrates for energy. That's one of the main fun pieces to B1. I hope that's B1. You need B1 to make ATP, which is essentially, that's, the sources of energy at, a cellular level. So B1, I think if you're going to start anywhere, and again, I got creatine here, but if you're going to start anywhere with popping a couple of pills, the B suite for me seems to be the easy one, right? So B1. B3, niacin, I've been taking this for quite some time. Again, these two, more of the starters. Specifically, again, as I talk about what's going on with the cervical radiculopathy, that's going to be a banner across the bottom because you guys have heard enough about that, as I train through that. But again, inflammation is there. I'm injured, and I'm continuing to work through, not aggravate the injury, but support the injury. B suite helps with this, right? So these things came out from, a recommendation from my orthobionomist that these would help. But B3, niacin, again, another resource to it is aiding the conversion of food to cellular energy, right? So we are going beyond, carbohydrates, fats, all the rest. You are looking at cells breaking down and being able to increase energy levels. Niacin, B3. B6. This, again, anti-inflammatory, all that good stuff. Antioxidants, that's also a really good piece to it. And then also helping your metabolism. It's going to be a big piece to this one too. So again, how you're breaking down, and if you haven't heard that before on these, is again helping cellular level ATP energy levels. This is going to help and support your metabolism as well, especially as you're trying to play the game of, look, I eat 6 times a day. So I am already helping my body discover a metabolism to move quickly, absorb what it needs, get rid of what it doesn't, and hopefully my macros are at a level with my caloric input and output at a level where it's helping do that as well. But again, helping your metabolism, B6 is great. B12, red blood cell, cognitive and nerve functions. I've been taking this one for a while. This one's actually a lot of fun. So I take this, and I had my B12 tested. It was a little high, but little pink tab. Read the instructions on everything, by the way. This goes underneath your tongue, and you hold it there for 90 seconds to even 2 minutes, or really however long you may want to. But the instinct to all of this, just swallow and go, that's not it with all of them. B12 is not that. You have to absorb that underneath your tongue or break it down underneath your tongue. It breaks itself down. It does support neurological function, nerve cell health, all that fun shit. So B suite, again, if you take anything away from the B suite, again, B1, B3, B6, and B12, overall, nervous system, brain function, heart health, And then again, anti-inflammatory. These things are going to be phenomenal for you. Again, I implore you to do your own research on all of this, but again, this isn't going to be a science experiment. I'm telling you what I'm taking, and I'm kind of giving you just a brief overview of what that looks like. So bees are gone. I don't know if that's a good place for them. Let's go shove it over here. And by the way, this is my setup in the morning. This is what it looks like in my corner. It's just this little thing. I love the Container Store. I'm a big organizer, a little bit of a freak about that. So I have all of this set up to do my little bowls. And I kind of want to talk to you guys real quick in between the bees. Of how I organize this and take this. I have 2 bowls, day 1, day 2, and I just keep, you cannot find a pill case, and maybe you guys have seen something out there. I don't really care because I'm in my home, so I don't really give a shit about having a pill case, and I don't travel frequently enough in order to care about having a pill case. I actually Ziploc bag all my stuff when I go traveling, and I print out additional labels for everything so I can get through the airport a little easier, because when you're traveling, again, traveling with all of this is ridiculous. If you're gone for a month, yes, travel with the containers. That pack an extra bag, hopefully you're driving, travel with all of this. But if you're gone for a week, I Ziploc baggie all my stuff Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I have the labels in a big Ziploc bag, shove them all in there, all the labels, so when I get stopped at airport security, they're like, well, what is this? Here you go. Here's all the paperwork on everything that I'm carrying, so you guys know I'm not trying to sneak drugs into whatever country I may be visiting or the state that I'm visiting or wherever I'm going. But every day, either with my shake or at some point during the day, today seems to be a little late in the day that I'm doing it, take a handful, get it in. And then I will prep this bowl the next day. Another little trick, having a number. That's how many pills go into the bowl. So I don't have to continue to read labels and do all that. So I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but 1, 2. Most of this is 1 pill, luckily. But I have that, so an easy trick of saying, just pop 1 out, put it in there. I don't even look at the label anymore of what it is, because I know I've labeled the cap appropriately, and I go 1 at a time, and I empty it into my little bowl. That one's finished. This one's for tomorrow. And then I will do that and repeat the process based upon what's going on here. I also do this with any medications I may be taking or anything that I have to take, from there. I'm gonna try to keep this alphabetical because I do have a list alphabetically as well. Again, talk about heart health. I have a thick heart. I wanna be clear about that. That's not a medical problem. It's a thick heart. Again, I've been over 250 pounds 20 years of my life or more, depending, and I'm 41. So, and I do a lot of heavy work. I do a lot of heavy lifting. I've done this for a very long time. I've been off the horse a lot, but back on the horse significantly more. And look, your heart is a muscle, just like almost anything that you are looking to train in the gym. So it does get thicker. So I do take some things to support heart health, obviously the B Suite, but CoQ10, again, phenomenal for heart health. I, again, put it kind of higher up on the list of what I should take. Like if I stop taking stuff, these things are not going to be part of that list. So let's move on to, let's go to, nope. This wants me to stay alphabetically, so we'll go Colin Broom. Look, and again, during none of this, I don't get paid by these brands, even though I'd like to. But none of these brands pay me. I know there's cheaper versions out there. I don't care. This is part of my life now. So if this is one of the better or best products, I'm going to take it. Very much like my protein supplements. I don't care about the nickels or the dimes. I'm not going to step over a penny I'm not going to step over $1 to grab a penny. I am going to look at some of the best products out there and ensure that I'm taking what I feel is the best after doing my research. Colin Broom, fantastic for dietary health. It's essentially just a shit ton of fiber. And I say it exactly that way because it's a shit ton. As you guys may know, bodybuilders, and if you are a bodybuilder and you're watching this, you understand your shits can be bad one day, your shits can be great another day. It depends on what you're eating, but again, with high protein diets, high water intake, you tend to not get as much fiber in because, again, sometimes you're low carb. So you do even restrict, which I wouldn't suggest, but you're restricting some of the vegetables that you should be getting in. This is where colon broom comes in. You take 1 scoop in the morning, 1 scoop in the evening. And for me, this has been fantastic for just my movement and my bowels and what's happening there. Again, making a video about this and I'm talking about my poops, but my digestive tract and my digestive system thanks me when I take colon broom. Again, there's cheaper brands out there and I'm sure they're pretty much the same, by the way. I have no doubt they are. People tell me they are, but I wait for sales and I buy it up and call it a day. So colon broom, big fan, huge supporter of that product. Let's see, to stay alphabetical. Oh, come on. So, tried and true, creatine. No, I do not take 2 different types of creatine on a daily basis. I have 2 different types of creatine. The reason I have this one out, I'll explain in a second. But Allmax, as you can see, I have a couple of Allmax products. I am a big fan of Allmax. I was 10 plus years ago when I revisited my bodybuilding journey and I competed. That was me here. I hope my finger's in the right place. And Allmax was a huge support structure for me then, as far as some of the best compounds and some of the best products that they're bringing to the market, especially on the 2 basics that I have, protein and creatine. I have found them to be some of the best. So 5 grams a day, that's all I take. Sometimes it's a little heftier scoop. But this is normally mixed in, which I will get to now too, is, my Amino Energy. So this is gonna be a little bit of caffeine, not a crazy stim. This is my pre-workout, right? So I grew up in the day and age of NO Explode, and when they started to really market that pre-workout, and it was really like a first mover to the market on pre-workouts and moving on it, I overloaded my body with caffeine at some point. Am I tolerant to it now? Yeah, of course. I have a couple of cups of coffee in the morning, but I don't stim myself out on my pre-workout. So my Amino Energy and my creatine go hand in hand right before my workout. I mix it in a glass before I either go downstairs or I go to the gym. Mix it in a glass, slug it down, call it a day. This is watermelon. Again, a lot of amino acids, a little bit of caffeine, micronized, free-form amino acids for faster absorption, supports recovery before, during, and after exercise, caffeine from natural sources. So again, nothing crazy. I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is gonna have, so it's got 10 calories, and this is 2 scoops. I only take 1 scoop, by the way. So I take 1 scoop of this, so it's 5 calories, 1 carbohydrate. There's a huge amino blend. And then caffeine's from, look, green tea extract, green coffee extract. So nothing nutso. I really wish it, 160 milligrams. So this isn't nuts, right? And I want to be clear about that. I can look up how many milligrams of caffeine are in a cup of coffee, or some of the competitors that are out there. And I wouldn't even put this in a competitor market, because I know some of these pre-workouts are fucking nuts. This is not nuts. I can't take anything nuts just yet. Maybe down the road I will, but at the end of the day, I don't need it. I don't feel I need it. My workouts are going just fine with this and 5 grams of creatine. So there's your creatine. This creatine, animal creatine. So the only reason I have that in here at all is for, again, when I travel, because that tub, it's not crazy big, but big enough where I am not going to be taking up room. Again, I'm not a small person, so everything I own tends to be bigger, like shoes and even flip-flops if I'm going down to Mexico or the beaches or whatever. I don't want to waste any luggage space with a giant jug of creatine where I'm only going to take 5 or 6 scoops of that while I'm away. This is great. This is tiny, in my opinion, and they're tabs. You take like 4 or 5 tabs of these, right? I don't use this often. So 4 chewables. So 4 chewables, 5 grams of 5 grams of creatine, and you're done. So, and they're fruit punch flavored. So again, right before my workout, wherever I am, because I do find gyms wherever I go, pop 4 of these in, cup of coffee if I can find, if I have one, and then I go to the gym because I'm not traveling with my amino energy or any of that other shit. I'm not at that level yet. I'm looking to compete, but I'm not a professional, so traveling with all of this doesn't make any sense to me yet. It may change. But again, if you guys don't know enough about creatine, I would encourage you, Google the crap out of it. It's one of the #1 bodybuilding supplements that's out there. Almost everyone is taking creatine that is looking to bodybuild. Again, that's one of the staples. I still do think my B suite would come before my creatine because again, I want to protect my body before I grow my body. That's where the B suite comes in versus creatine, B, then C. Those would be in the order that I'd be looking at, and then protein. So you can get down to these and be just fine as long as you have your B suite with you. All this other stuff, again, protective measures. And again, we'll talk about protective measures. Where is my dandelion root? So first, liver, gallbladder. Liver's taking a pounding on taking certain things, whether it's prescriptions or anything else to that nature. So again, your liver detox, and again, you're bringing in a lot of different foods and a lot of supplementation and all the rest. It's never a bad thing to, I don't know how that science works, that you're having a supplement to support your liver because you're taking supplements. I got nothing for that. But also, improved digestion, right? Again, so putting this in with your colon broom and a few other things, as a bodybuilder, metabolism, digestion, your bowel movements, all of that, it's important. Dandelion root comes in very handy when it comes to that. D3, bone support, teeth support. I do not have the best teeth. I neglected my teeth for quite some time, but we're back on the road and back on track with it. But again, D3, 5,000 IUs. I take this every day. This thing's really tiny. It's a little gel cap, so it's fun. I don't know why I look at supplementation as being fun, but it is. So bone and teeth support, which, by the way, it's bone. Did F. I didn't go by the brand, but Animal, again, very much like those creatines that I travel with. I'm a big, huge fan of Animal. I have one of my favorite photos from God knows how long ago, about 12 years ago. I'm gonna find it and it's gonna go right here, where I had the Animal t-shirt on. I loved when you bought these cans, which I don't think they do it anymore because I've bought a lot of this over the last couple of years. They used to have a t-shirt in here, and that pull the t-shirt out and just came with this. What a fucking amazing marketing strategy that was. I thought that was fantastic. But Animal Flex is not the Animal Pack. The Animal Pack is multivitamin. I'm taking more than enough of everything I need. I don't need anything that comes in the Animal Pack because of where I'm at on dedicated supplementation. But the Animal Flex, fantastic for joint support, lubrication of the joints. These are very much like the Animal Pack, which again, if you don't know the Animal Pack, go look it up. It's really fantastic. But these are packs. So a lot of this handful of crap that I'm taking, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pills in here. And again, you've got, I'll tell you, glucosamine, chondroitin, flaxseed oil. Again, phenomenal things for joint support. Ginger root, turmeric, just a huge amount of benefits in this one little can. And frankly, from a price point, because it's 1 pack a day and it's 44 in a can, I think it's like $30 or something like that. So for a month and a half, essentially $25 a month, give or take, you have everything you need for joint support. And I like that because again, I don't want to take 2 or 3 additional, things, and all this blend and everything that's here makes it a no-brainer for me. So Animal Flex for comprehensive joint care. Again, everything else is going to be care, more or less. So let's see. Well, some things are care. That'll get me to, is this it? Nope, that's fade out. RPG, Redcon. This, I only discovered this when I started just getting my weight down to see if I wanted to do this again. So back in July of 2023, I said, something clicked and I said, hey, I want to start losing weight. I was over 300 pounds, wasn't feeling great. And I knew what my body wanted to be, and it's closer to where I am. So anyway, I used to eat like shit. And look, I have cheat meals just like any normal person would. Again, it's just making sure it doesn't spill over to day 2, day 3, day 4, and then all of a sudden you're back on this, wild cheat meal extravaganza. RPG helps. It's a carb blocker. For the bare science of it is, my poops are crap the next day after taking this. It does help with some of the distension of the belly, which again, the colon broom helps that too, because again, you get gassy when you're eating things that aren't appropriate for your system to take in. And again, when you're eating very healthily and clean, and then all of a sudden you want a pizza. Before I have a pizza, I'm not going to tell you I don't. I pop 4 or 5 of these beforehand, because that's the serving, by the way. Take 4 or 5 of these 20, 30 minutes before I eat the pizza, and then I eat the pizza. And luckily enough, it does enough of a trick for me to expel the pizza without having it be absorbed into the system. Don't get me wrong, those pizza nights, which is every 2 weeks, the next day are great workouts. My carbohydrate intake is fantastic and I'm going at it, but this helps block some of that carbohydrate. So that's where we're at. So back to the support stuff. This was recommended by my coach. I really didn't know enough about this. Tutka, I think is how you pronounce it. Tutka, I don't know. He says Tutka, I say Tutka. He's also his Spanish is more of a language for him. But Tutka, again, liver, gut health, support system, so this is improving liver bile flow. So it's actually really cool in that regard. So again, a little bit more liver, very much like the dandelion root. And there are some things between these. Again, if you're looking at supporting your liver, you can take one or the other. I choose to take both because they do have different services to them. They do have different things that they do. So I take both. But again, guys, look up everything I'm doing before you guys make a decision and say, hey, there's a big guy and he takes these things. I don't really want to be that guy. So another disclaimer right across the bottom of the video. Getting to the bare bones of this. Milk thistle. Ooh. More liver support. Hate to tell you. Liver support, kidney support. Again, while you're going on this journey, your liver and your kidneys need all the help they can get. Don't skimp out on that kind of crap. Just telling you. Especially as you get older, your liver and your kidneys need as much support as they can get. I'll leave it at that. Glutamine. L-glutamine. This, again, been in my staple for a very long time. This I'd put in with like the Bs and the protein and the creatine, right? So that list kind of gets longer and longer. But again, muscle recovery, it's an abundant amino acid in the body. It is going to play an important role of muscle protein development. So glutamine has been a mainstay for me for years. If I take any supplements, this is in that mix. So that's my little tray. Sorry about the cut, guys. Not entirely sure if my camera bugged out and kind of stopped right after the L-glutamine. I went on for another few minutes, so I'm gonna continue on with that because I'm done with my tray. Fade out. So this, same company that makes the RPG. So I got into Redcon 1, which is the company that makes this. I got into Redcon 1 during COVID. And I'm not saying that because COVID's not real. It's fucking very real. I've had it and it sucks. But during the time that we really were not going anywhere, I live in North New Jersey. It looked extremely high populated area, all the rest. But anyway, my wife and I wanted to make some different decisions on our diet, and we were watching documentary after documentary after documentary on everything. So we went plant-based for a little bit. Redcon 1 makes a phenomenal vegan protein. And again, I say plant-based because that's what we were. People can call it vegan, whatever, but I don't want to be that guy that tells you, if you're a vegan. Anyway, Redcon 1 makes a phenomenal vegan protein called Green Beret. One of the best proteins, period, I've had. It's tough to get the delivery system in there as far as how much protein I need because, again, it gets expensive pretty quick, especially when you're trying to take in a ton of protein. It's not the best for me, which is why I'm going to do a separate video on protein, just because I think that's a big conversation to have of why I take the protein I do and why I have so many different proteins. But Redcon 1 makes a product called Fade Out. This isn't even open, so you can see how frequently my wife and I might take this at this point, but this was very helpful if your anxiety levels are high. Look, I work late, sometimes 9, 10 o'clock at night, depending on what it is. So does my wife, and our brains are going and going and going and going. And there were times in our lives, and you guys can research me a little bit further back on Facebook and all the rest of my normal accounts, to understand a little bit why our anxiety levels might have been high, and it was difficult to sleep. It was difficult to get down. Once we were asleep, and we'd be woken up sometimes, and we still are. But to get down is important. Sleep and recovery are an enormous part of what we do as bodybuilders and what we do as athletes. Again, my wife's training for a triathlon, or a couple of triathlons. So at the end of the day, sleep is very important. Fade Out is a fantastic supplement, and there's some really great stuff in here. There's some regular, vitamin C, E, B6, all that shit. But then you do have your chamomile, your hops, your melatonin, your stuff to help with your sleep cycle and putting you down to sleep. So Fade Out's great. You take a scoop of this 20, 30 minutes before you want to go to bed. It does lay you out nicely. It's not this, it's not like taking the Tylenol PM and or overdosing on Benadryl or something like that just to knock you out. But this is a really, really good sleep formula. So I suggest this to anybody who has a hard time getting down at night. Look, I still wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, and again, I got to pee a lot, so it kind of is what it is. I don't blame Fade Out for any of that, but in order to get down and kind of just like get you down, this is great. And then last thing outside the tray is dextrose, and this is 10 pounds. I felt bad for the Amazon guy that had to carry this box. By the way, most of this, actually all of this, I have bought on Amazon, except for the Allmax stuff, which I go straight to Allmax. And when they do big sales and discounts and shit, I stock up. So I have racks of just protein powder sitting around in my basement. But dextrose, I just started this probably a month and a half ago. Saw somebody doing it, talking about it. Then I did a little research on it. It makes enough sense to me. I only take 20 grams post-workout with my shake. Spikes in insulin levels, carbohydrates are through the roof. My energy levels after my workout are maintained for a little bit longer, which is great because, again, I've got a full day ahead of me after an hour plus fucking killing workout. So the dextrose certainly helps with that. Again, insulin spikes, stuff like that. We can go down that road of science. I'm not going to get there with you guys. You guys can do your own research on that. I'm really just to tell you what I do. So dextrose is new, and I added into my post-workout shake. It makes my shake really sweet, which is great. And it's sugar. It's not table sugar, it's dextrose. It's a very, very simple form, very quick absorption into the body. But I miss sugar, right? So as you go down a bodybuilding journey or a health journey, sugar is the number one thing that you should be cutting out of your diet. I'm bringing it back in, 20 grams of it, but bringing it back in because I want to be able to get the benefits of what dextrose does post-workout. With that said, carbohydrates, sugar, all that fun shit. Look, it's the one thing out of the diet that you start to eliminate and start to really tamper down on as you get more and more into this sport and wanted to be a bodybuilder. I'm gonna have fond memories of sugar. Anyway, that's my supplementation. If you guys have questions, I'm happy to answer anything. I'm certainly not going to debate anybody on anything. If you tell me this, okay, cool, I'll hear you out. I'll listen to that and understand it. Again, this is either coming from my own 2 cents of doing this for over 20 plus years, 25, 26 years actually. Recommendations from doctors, recommendations from my coaches, recommendations from other bodybuilders that I'm very friendly with that tell me the benefits and whatever it is, and then I go do my research. That's what I feel everyone should be going to do. Google it. Understand the side effects of things as well. Don't just look at the benefits. Understand the side effects of it. What we are doing is putting our body through the impossible, and we should be helping it with supplementation. So, guys, I'm going to do the protein on the next video, so keep an eye out for that. Like, subscribe, share, so you can see what the protein crap is all about, and I can talk you guys through my protein and why I have like 8 of them. Until next time, guys, I appreciate you coming along for the journey, and hang tight out there.